Why Middle Eastern brands haven't gone global yet. When people talk about global brands, the same names dominate the conversation. American brands, European brands, Asian brands. But here's a question worth asking seriously. Why haven't more Middle Eastern brands gone global? Because if you've spent time in the region, you know something important. The Middle East has strong brands, powerful hospitality concepts, luxury experiences, restaurant groups, lifestyle brands, and some of the most sophisticated consumer experiences in the world now exist in cities like Dubai, Riyadh, Doha, and Abu Dhabi. So the issue is not whether Middle Eastern brands can compete globally. Many absolutely can. The real question is, why haven't more of them tried? Before we talk about the gap, let's acknowledge what's already happened. A handful of Middle Eastern brands have successfully built international presence. Patchi transformed chocolate from a simple product into a premium gifting experience that now carries the Middle East's name into luxury markets worldwide. Bateel transformed a traditional regional product into a globally recognized luxury experience. Arabian Oud turned a deeply rooted Gulf tradition into a fragrance empire that now spans continents. So it can be done. The question is, why it hasn't happened more. For many years, Middle Eastern brands simply didn't need to expand internationally. The local market was already highly profitable. Strong consumer spending, premium positioning, young populations, rapid growth. When your home market rewards you this well, global expansion can feel like unnecessary complexity rather than obvious opportunity. And that changes the psychology of growth entirely. Because international expansion is not just opportunity, it's pressure. Different regulations, different consumer behavior, different operational expectations, different brand perceptions. Many brands chose to dominate locally instead. And, for a long time, that was a completely rational decision. There's a reason that rarely gets discussed openly. And it's not a creativity problem. It's definitely not a quality problem. It's a translation problem. Not language translation, brand translation. A brand that feels powerful inside its home market does not automatically connect emotionally in another culture. What feels aspirational in one region may feel unfamiliar in another. What feels premium in one culture may feel inaccessible in another. Global expansion is not about exporting a concept. It's about translating relevance. And this is where most regional brands have struggled internationally, not because the product is weak, but because the story doesn't travel. At the same time, for decades, the Middle East was associated internationally with oil, luxury, and geopolitics. Not with innovation, not with design, not with the kind of cultural storytelling that builds global brand affinity. That perception is changing. But it created a real headwind for brands trying to cross over, because they weren't just launching a product, they were shifting a narrative. There's also a practical dimension to this. Many Middle Eastern businesses grew through relationships, regional networks, and local partnerships. That model works exceptionally well inside the region. But scaling into Western markets requires a different architecture entirely. Institutional systems, operational standardization, scalable infrastructure, global talent integration. And many fast-growing regional brands were simply never built with that kind of expansion in mind. That's not a criticism. It's just an honest observation about how growth priorities shape organizational design. The brands that have gone global successfully were the ones that built for scale from early on, even when they didn't immediately need it. Here's what's shifting right now. A new generation of Middle Eastern brands is emerging. Brands that are more globally aware, more operationally sophisticated, more design-focused, more culturally adaptable, and perhaps most importantly, more confident. These are brands built by founders who were educated globally, developed international networks, and came home with a different ambition. Not just to build successful regional businesses, but to build brands the world recognizes. And the timing has never been better. Global consumers are more open than ever to brands from unexpected places. The assumption that great brands only come from traditional markets is becoming outdated thinking. The Middle East is no longer just consuming global brands. It's beginning to build them. Great brands are not created by geography. They're created by relevance. And the brands that succeed internationally are not always the biggest or the best funded. They're the brands that understand how to connect with people across cultures, that know how to make their story travel. The Middle East has the creativity, the capital, the ambition, and now the generation ready to take it global. What it needs next are more brands willing to invest in the long game. The next great global brands won't all come from New York, London, or Tokyo. Some of them are being built right now in Riyadh, Dubai, and Doha. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.